The Austin Convention Survey Results by Thomas B. Approximately 400 persons attended the second biennial convention of We Agnostics, Atheists, and Freethinkers International Convention, WAFTIAC, which took place November 11th through 13, 2016, at the Austin Crowne Plaza Hotel, with the theme, Human Power Can Relieve Our Alcoholism. May you find us now. Following the conference, the former WAFTIAC board, under the leadership of Diane P., chairperson, and Vic L., outreach chair, drafted a post-conference survey to elicit feedback from attendees about the conference. This draft was submitted to Thomas B., outreach chair of the newly named and elected members of the International Conference of Secular AA, ICSAA, Board of Directors, who were elected at the Austin business meeting. The new board revised the survey, and it was sent out to 270 attendees whose emails were garnered from those who used PayPal to pay for registration fees. 5 of these emails bounced back as invalid emails, resulting in a survey cohort of 265 attendees. 79 persons responded to the survey, resulting in a 29.8% response rate. The tabulated results of the survey can be seen here at Secular AA 2016 Austin Survey. Summary of survey results. Herein follows a summary of the pertinent results from this self-selected non-random survey of those who attended the November 2016 WAFT International AA Convention in Austin, Texas. Point. A substantial majority of those who responded were satisfied, 38%, or very satisfied, 53.2%, with the Austin Convention. Point 2. The majority of those who responded were atheists, 43%, or agnostics, 21.5%, with a wide range of other beliefs to include freethinkers, Buddhists, non-theists, a secular humanist, a Wiccan, an atheistic yogini, and a pantheist, etc. Point 3. The majority of those who responded were raised either as Protestant, 42.3%, or Catholic, 32%, along with 9 nuns, 4 Jewish, 2 atheists, and a Quaker. Point 4. A majority, 68.8%, of those who responded developed their current belief system before they were members of AA. Point 5. A majority, 63.2% of those who responded have been involved in various levels of AA general service work at the group, district, and area levels, as well as with intergroups. Point 6. There are many paths from which those who responded became aware of secular AA to include secular AA meetings, the Internet, including AA Agnostica and AA Beyond Belief, intergroups, and AA conferences to include 4 who attended the secular AA meeting at the Atlanta International AA Conference. Point 7. A majority of those who responded did not attend the Santa Monica Convention in 2014. Comparing Santa Monica and Austin. Of those who did attend Santa Monica, here's a sampling of comments comparing the Santa Monica Convention with the Austin Convention. I especially appreciated that it included Phyllis H., GSO Manager, and Reverend Ward Ewing, retired GSO Board Chair, who both are most supportive of secular AA. Austin was more official and organized. Santa Monica will always be the first. Yes, great being part of First Conference. I preferred the Santa Monica Conference. Austin Conference had more negativity. Equally worthwhile. I could see a tremendous growth with more speakers and great camaraderie. They were both fantastic experiences. Loved Ward Ewing's speech in Santa Monica. However, Austin felt more organized. Was also nice having hotel on site. Both great. I preferred the conference in Santa Monica. Santa Monica, more intimate and the venue was better, but the content in Austin was superior. There's nothing like the first one. I liked Austin, but there was such excitement in Santa Monica. Both were outstanding. The second built on the first in terms of focus and a way forward for our movement within AA. Austin event more professionally organized. I like Santa Monica better, although necessary. I felt the tone of the Austin conference was a bit less heartfelt and more political. Again, this was necessary in that we needed some procedural things decided, but Santa Monica felt more recovery-based. Austin was bigger, more convention-like. It was somewhat better. Santa Monica was more intimate with much better opportunities for networking. Austin was less intimate and, to be honest, attracted more of the lunatic fringe. A majority, 78.5%, attend traditional or religious AA meetings. A majority of those, 62.5%, report that they identify their secular or non-traditional beliefs regularly, and another 22.2% sometimes do. Of those who don't share their secular beliefs, 3 are fearful of doing so. Most liked about Austin. Below is a sampling of comments of what those who responded to the survey liked most about the Austin Convention. The fellowship of traveling with 3 others to get there. Wide range of topics and panels. The opportunity to meet in person many other secular AA members with whom I connect online. Free thinking and freedom to speak. To be myself. The best thing about the Austin Conference was the chance to be with so many like-minded people. Meeting fellow non-believers, great workshops, good selection of books. Loved the people that host the websites and podcasts. Since it was my first secular conference and was new to the entire experience, I was overwhelmed with it all. Gathering of like-minded folks sharing diverse experiences. Got to meet the folks who post regularly. The workshops and meeting so many like-minded AAs. Being myself in a group of like-minded people, for the most part. Being in a community of like-minded individuals working towards recognition and inclusion of secular AA. I liked panels and the experience being among a global fellowship of like-minded folks. Sense of community and shared purpose. Learning more about history, learned about challenges in creating atheistic, agnostic, free-thinking meetings. The friendly, open, truly free-thinking spirit, and very stimulating conversation, both in and out of formal sessions. I was invited to speak as a panel participant at 2 sessions, although I belong to a church. Seeing sober people who don't insist on traditional Christian religion as necessary to being sober. Knowing that I am not alone in finding the God talk unhelpful. Ability to speak freely and be myself. least liked about Austin. Below is a sampling of comments of what those who responded to the survey liked least about the Austin convention. The location. The hotel was good, but poorly situated. The strident atheist voices who argued against secular AA being involved within AA general service work. Some of the breakout rooms were too small. No one at hotel to greet the night before the start of the conference. The militant atheist approach is just as off-putting as the Bible thumpers. The big speaker meetings. The lack of good keynote speakers. Denigration of traditional AA. Internal squabbles within the board. Space for some of the breakout sessions was inadequate. Angry atheists. Political comments from podium. Business meeting was a joke. In other words, voting on bylaws that hadn't been published. Some sessions were too crowded. Singer at dinner actually sang Amazing Grace. WTF? Poor tape quality. Poor audio throughout. As I am hard of hearing, it was brutal. And the tapes I brought back were echoes and lousy sound. Geez. The contentiousness of the business meeting. Atheist, fundamentalist, and a few people that were overly rude to the grapevine rep. The hotel was too far from downtown, with very few options for walking to restaurants. I also am not in favor of traditional religious leaders, priests, ministers, leading sessions at the conference. I was embarrassed at the treatment of Amy Brophy, the executive editor-publisher of the AA Grapevine. She should have been a keynote speaker to address the entire convention. Many high-importance workshops were on Friday, with very few on Sunday. If possible, just a Friday night welcome dinner big meeting, then workshops on Saturday all day and Sunday until early afternoon. Would be great to attract more young people. Discussions about how spiritual secular AA should be. Hotel location sucked, and hotel itself was a bit dreary. Some sessions were too full, angry people. That I couldn't experience a little bit of the Austin music scene, and, now that I think about it, the rancor at the business meeting was eye-opening and upsetting. Not a walkable location. Not much shopping, eating, or sightseeing within walking distance. Having to wait 2 years for the next one. Angry, male-centric tone. What I felt was a very power, control-driven tone and agenda on the part of some. Rabid anti-spirituality and anti-AA/steps comments. I left early on Sunday. I couldn't take any more. Militant atheists are as off-putting as evangelists. Most of the workshops contained little to no information on corresponding science, psychology, philosophy, biology, neurology, etc. Supporting/tying into the steps, except the one on meditation. Politics. There seemed to be a lot of bashing AA by several people at the conference. While my differences vary differently with traditional AA, I am very grateful for the program as written. What would be desired in future conferences? A very slight majority, 50.6%, of those who responded suggest every 2 years, and a large cohort, 25.3%, suggest every year. Herein follow a sampling of responses from those who responded to the survey as to what they would like to see at future ICSAA conferences. medical/scientific insights into addiction. Emphasis on science of addiction to include the latest neurological findings, such as latest research on use of psychedelic substances in treatment of addiction. More opportunity to meet people from other areas and hear their stories. More regional conferences so more people can attend. This organization feels very elitist. None of my sponsees could afford to take off work and take a trip to Toronto. I'm sure many people in AA can't. Live webcasts for those who cannot attend. A variety of relevant topics for presentations and workshops. Stories about secular AA history. Talks by people from the GSO. I believe inviting people from the GSO will help build relationships between secular AA and traditional AA, and this will help acceptance of non-traditional groups within AA. Encourage representation from New York GSO. I like the feeling of being with others who were willing to examine and question their own personal journey, free thinkers, without disparaging traditional. There's a need for both. More countries represented, more authors presenting their books, t-shirt sales. A little more entertainment would be nice. More GSO participation. Austin had nice mix, maybe more in taking meetings into institutions. Would it be wrong to bring in outside AA folk like Tony Rosen, Gabor Mate, Sam Harris, Hemant Mehta? More speakers, workshops for newcomers. Atheist/AG Old-Timers panel. Some common goal and call to action. Mutual goals? More people. Lots of information from non-AA approved literature and other media. I'd like to have AA believers who support us have a place at our table. More help with starting a group. Some more focus on how to start new meetings. At the first one, we had a well-attended workshop about that. I think we could have one each time. More marathon meetings, Friday evening dance, organized city trip, etc. More diverse speakers, ideas/backgrounds. Would love way to somehow identify/connect with secular AAs from my state, local area while at the conference. If I hadn't already known folks from Santa Monica, I would have never known who the other Colorado folks were. Perhaps voluntary participation in a secular AA phone list and/or directory published before or during the conference so that folks can connect in person. More time for fellowship without having to miss content. Workshop on secular meeting topic development. I would like to see us invite GSO and the Grapevine and treat them respectfully and allow them to address the convention. I would like to see an organized effort to get secular people involved in general service to learn how we can affect change in AA. More young people. More real atheist speakers, younger than Cameron and myself, and panels, and no more representatives from traditional AA, like the Grapevine, on the platform. They are more than welcome to attend, of course, but it's our conference that should be exclusively for and by our own membership. As I have pointed out many times as an example, I don't wish to speak at Catholic AA retreats, of which there are many around here. And if I were, for some reason, inclined to do so, it would be inappropriate in the extreme. 2016 was excellent. All I can think of would be nice to have organized transport for non-conference outings. dinner/night in the town, etc., or means to coordinate with groups for such. Online access for those who can't make it, audio or audiovisual. Let's use the next conference to foster more 12th step work. I am especially enthusiastic about local secular AA groups helping sobriety courts and government-funded rehabs avoid running afoul of the First Amendment, as always happens when non-believers are legally coerced into attending AA meetings and praying for God's help. We won't convert most AA members, but we can help newcomers who might die without a wider secular gateway. Secular AA should be incorporated into the AA International Conventions. Maybe a panel of people like myself who belong to traditional AA and to a religious denomination. What can we do to make secular AAs feel more welcome? 1. Meeting on methods, big and small, on how to encourage others to come out at AA meetings. 2. How to promote secular meetings while still observing the attraction rather than promotion tenet, aka balancing traditions 5 and 11, and their religious, or lack thereof, privacy. More support from AA, GSO. More regional conferences so more people can attend. Most AA members can't afford to be off work and travel long distances. More on ways to connect with/positively influence traditional AA. Broadening the path to sobriety in AA by accepting drug addiction without prejudice. Other ways to bring the program up to date. In other words, developing promotion of AA work, gathering reliable data on the program's effectiveness in conjunction with medical/rehab professionals, redefining anonymity in contemporary terms. Stand-up comedy/entertainment. More explanation of other belief systems. Entertainment and more free time to explore the local scene. Demographics. Here is a demographic analysis of those who responded to the survey. 67 persons who responded were from the U.S., 9 persons from Canada, and 1 person from Great Britain. 12 persons were from Texas, 10 persons from California, 5 persons from Florida and Illinois, 3 persons from New York and Oregon, 2 persons from Colorado, Georgia, Maryland, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, and 1 person from Arizona, Indiana, Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, Ohio, Vermont, Virginia, and Wisconsin. 32, or 40.5%, who responded were women, and 47, or 59.5%, were men. The youngest person to attend and respond was 32, and the oldest was 86. Over half of those who responded were in their 60s, 31 or 40.8%, or 70s, 14 or 18.4%. 14 or 19.4% had less than a year sober. 33 or 26.4% had between 1 and 25 years sober, and 25 or 34.7% had over 25 years sober. Concluding observations. 1. It is gratifying that a substantial number of responses from this survey indicate that the majority of our members are committed to continuing the evolution of our secular AA Special Purpose Group fully within the AA General Service structure in accordance with AA's history, traditions, and concepts of service. 2. We are heavily weighted toward older cohorts of the AA population, with a dire need to engage in the younger segments of the AA population, many of whom are non-religious. 3. Over a third of those who responded have more than 25 years of sobriety. 4. The results of this survey and comments will provide excellent information to assist the host committee as they plan for the 2018 Toronto Conference. A personal observation. I am most gratified by the number of comments in favor of our secular AA movement staying fully within traditional AA. As well, I am encouraged by the number of secular AA members who attend and participate in traditional AA meetings, sharing as secular members of AA. Further, I strongly agree with those who suggest that future conferences should have featured speakers, especially to include representatives from AA General Service Office and the Grapevine. I am also gratified by the number of people who were as put off by the acerbic comments of the militant atheists as I was. Herein follow 3 of a significant number of comments expressing this sentiment. The militant atheist approach is just as off-putting as the Bible thumpers. Rabid anti-spirituality, anti-AA/steps comments. I left early on Sunday. I couldn't take it anymore. There seemed to be a lot of bashing AA by several people at the conference. To my mind, such militant atheists disregard and are just as out of touch with AA's history, traditions, and concepts of service as those AA members on the other side of the spectrum. The Big Book and Bible thumpers, who insist that the only way to recover in AA is through the intervening grace of Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of their God, the Father. I am so relieved that we, in secular AA, are devoted to staying in the middle of the pack along with traditional AA members, maintaining a centrist position between the two extremes of irascible atheists and evangelical Christians. In this manner, we in secular AA shall adhere to basic AA essentials as observed by the following quote from the eminent AA historian, Ernie Kurtz. Quote, "Whenever, wherever, one alcoholic meets another alcoholic and sees in that person first and foremost not that he or she is male or female, or black or white, or Christian, Buddhist, Jew, or atheist, or gay or straight, or whatever, but sees that he or she is alcoholic and that therefore both of them need each other. There will be not only an Alcoholics Anonymous, but there will be the Alcoholics Anonymous that you and I love so much and respect so deeply." End quote. Thus, our principles of love and tolerance, inclusiveness and acceptance of all who desire to stop drinking shall continue to guide and sustain us as secular members of Alcoholics Anonymous. To read the original version of this article, which contains hyperlinks and original artwork, simply go to the website aaagnostica.org and search for the Austin Convention survey results, dated June 11, 2017. For more audio versions of our stories and articles, simply visit our YouTube channel and search for AA Agnostica.